Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel English Literature. Now we're going to talk about Shakespeare's Macbeth Act-1 Scene-2. Along within enter Duncan, Malcolm, Donovan, Lennox and other attendants, and they just meet a bleeding captain. At a military camp near the King's Palace at Forres, King Duncan of Scotland and his two sons Donovan and Malcolm, they with the Thane of Lennox, they are waiting for the news of the war. A captain enters covered in so much blood that he is almost unrecognizable. The captain tells them of the state of the battle against the invading Norwegians and the Scottish rebels MacDonald and the Thane of Cawdor. Two Scottish noblemen have been specially brave. Who are they? Macbeth, the Thane of Glamis, and Banquo. The captain describes how Macbeth killed the traitors MacDonald. Then the captain is carried away to have his wounds attended to. The Thane of Prose, a Scottish nobleman, arrives and describes how Macbeth defeated Sionew, the Norwegian king, who now begs for a truce. He also informs that the treacherous Thane of Cawdor has been defeated. Duncan proclaims that Thane of Cawdor shall be put to death, and that Macbeth shall be made Thane of Cawdor. So, in the place of one traitor, there will be another one. Duncan, what bloody man is that? He can report, as seemed by his plight of the revolt, the newest state. The newest state means the latest news of battle. The latest news of battle. Malcolm, this is the sergeant who, like a good and hardy soldier, fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the king the knowledge of the brawl. Brawl means battle. As thou didst leave it. As thou didst leave it means as you just left the battlefield. In that recent situation that you left the battlefield. In that particular situation, what you have seen? What you have seen? The latest news. Now the bleeding captain. Doubtful it stood. So the result at first it seemed doubtful. As to spent swimmers. Spent meant exhausted. Spent means exhausted. To exhausted swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald. MacDonald is the rebel, and he is accompanied by other forces. Choke their art means hamper each other's movement so that neither can use their swimming skill. Choke their art. This phrase means that they are so much in similar type of power and grip on power that it seems that they are hampering each other with their power so that neither of them can swim. Here win. Now worthy to be a rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature. Multiplying villainies of nature means multiplying means ever increasing. Villainies means evil of his nature, of his inborn qualities. So MacDonald is worthy to be a rebel. Later we will find that the phrase is again used for Macbeth, that worthy to call brave. So here MacDonald is worthy to be called rebel because his villainies of nature is multiplying, means ever increasing. Do swarm upon him from the western isle of Carns and Galgos galloglosses is supplied, and fortune on his damned squad smiling. Sword like a rebel's sword. So fortune is here personified. Fortune is like a rebel's whore. What does it mean? That fortune is behaving like a whore, means prostitute, who smiles upon a customer in the beginning only to deceive him afterwards. Now, MacDonald, the rebel, is helped by other forces, and there is Cants. Cants means the lightly armed Irish foot soldier. Lightly armed Irish foot soldier. So MacDonald is helped by the Irish foot soldiers as well as the galloglosses. Galloglosses means heavily armed Irish horseman. Heavily armed Irish horseman. But even after that, he cannot win. But all is too weak for brave Macbeth. Well, he deserves that name. Here it is said, worthy to be rebel. Again, here it is said, he deserves that name. Disdaining fortune with his brandished still, means brandished sword. Brandished, flourishing sword. Brandished still means flourishing sword, which smoked with bloody execution, like valor's minion. Valor's minion means favorite of valor, bravery. Valor's minion means favorite of valor. Carved out his passage, means made his way in the warfield. In the battlefield, he made his way to reach MacDonald, till he faced the slave. 1 second, I am disturbing you because I feel. Okay. Slave means here MacDonald. Slave here refers to MacDonald. Okay. Which never shook hands nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from knave to the chaps. Unseamed means tore or pierced. Tore or pierced him from navel to the chaps. Chap means jaw or throat. So navel to the throat, MacDonald is pierced or tore by Macbeth, and fixed his head upon our battlements. Macbeth cut his head and just put it in the walls of the fort. That is going to be the fate of Macbeth at the last scene. This fate that Macbeth chooses for MacDonald, can you see in this font? Actually, I just changed the font because I feel this font is too much. It is too spacious. And the fate that Macbeth faced at the end of the play, Macbeth's head will be severed by Macduff, and here MacDonald's head is cut off by Macbeth. Duncan. Now Duncan is saying, "O valiant cousin, worthy gentleman, sergeant, as when the sun begins its reflection, ship-breaking storms and darkful thunders break, so from that spring whence comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells." So what does the captain want to mean? That the sun always begins to shine in the east, where it rises, and spreading its lights everywhere. But the eastern sky, which is the source, eastern sky, it is the source of sunlight. It at the same time it is a source of sunlight. Again, at the same time, it is the cause of storms and other threats. Mark, King of Scotland. Mark, who is King of Scotland? Duncan. The captain is referring to Duncan. No sooner justice had with valor armed compelled this keeping Cants. Cants, we know already the meaning of the word Cant. Lightly armed Irish foot soldier. soldiers to trust their heels. They are fleeing. The foot soldiers are fleeing. But at that time, what happened? Again a disaster. The Norwegian Lord. When Macbeth defeated MacDonald by killing him, and when the foot soldiers are taking their heels, but then Norwegian Lord just came in the help of the dead MacDonald. Just joined to the misfortune of Macbeth and Banquo. The Scottish soldier with furbished arms. Furbished arms. What does it mean? Furbished arms means newly gained. Furbished means newly gained. That is not used before. Began a fresh assault. Dismayed not these our captains Macbeth and Banquo? Duncan asked that does this affect them? Yes, it is a type of ironical speech. Yes, the captain says yes it did, but not in that. It did as if a sparrow discourages an eagle or a hare discourages a lion. So it actually means no. And that no is pronounced or emphasized by these similes. As sparrows, eagles, or hare, the lion. Can a sparrow make a eagle fearful, afraid, or a hare a lion? No. If I say sooth, I must report they were. So, if I say truth, I must report they were. They were at first afraid, as cannons overcharged with double cracks. So here the captain is talking in an ambiguous. Apparently he is saying yes, but actually he meant the opposite. Cannons overcharged, cannon loaded with double the number of explosive which they can normally hold. Doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe, except they mean to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize another Golgotha. What is Golgotha? Golgotha is a place, Golgotha means, the word means a place of skull. Here Jesus was crucified. It is also called Calvary, and it is just outside the wall of Jerusalem. I cannot tell, I am faint, but I am faint. He is too much exhausted due to his wounds. My gashes cry for help. Duncan, so well, thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honor both. Go, get him surgeons. Your words are as worthy as you, as your wounds. And now the bleeding captain go to the surgeon for his treatment. Who comes here? Enter Ross, Malcolm, the worthy thane of Ross. What a haste looks through his eyes. So should he look that seems to speak things strange. So the looks of Ross, from the looks of Ross, Lennox says that here may be chance that he is going to describe something strange. From his looks, it is Lennox surmounts that maybe he is going to say something strange. Ross, God save the king. Duncan, whence comes thou, worthy thane? From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Here flout means challenge. Challenge. The Norwegian king is challenging the Scottish soldier. Norway himself with terrible number, assisted by most disloyal traitor. Now the most disloyal traitor, remember this is very very important. The most disloyal traitor, who? The Thane of Cawdor. Now at the one hand there was MacDonald and Thane of Cawdor, Norwegian king. They are all the traitors. Now MacDonald is killed and there remain these two. He is called the most disloyal traitor and he will be hanged to death, and his title Thane of Cawdor will be put to Macbeth. And afterward, we will find that Macbeth will take his place being the most disloyal traitor. They begin a dismal conflict till that Bellona's bridegroom. Now, who is Bellona? Bellona here is the goddesses, Roman goddesses of war. And Macbeth is considered Bellona's bridegroom for his valor, for his bravery. Macbeth is called Bellona's bridegroom. That Macbeth is regarded as the husband of Bellona, meaning that he is no way inferior in valor to the goddesses of war. Lapped in proof means armed in tested armor, confronted him with self-comparisons. Point against point, revelas, arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit, and to conclude, the victory fell on us. So finally, Ross comes with the news of victory. That Macbeth fought his opponent with equal courage and skill, answering thrust with thrust and attack with attack, and in this way, he was able to subdue the insolent spirit of the rebel, and to conclude, the Scottish soldiers won their victory. Duncan, great happiness. Ross, that now Siono is the Norwegian king. Name of the Norwegian king is Siono. And now the Norwegian king craves composition. He is asking for truce. Nor would we deign him burial of his man. So what is Ross saying? The Norwegian king begs for a treaty, but we refuse to favor him even with the permission to remove the dead bodies of his soldiers for burial. Till he disbursed at St. Colum's Inch. Inch is a Celtic word, it means island. Inch is a Celtic word, it means island. So what is the condition given to the Norwegian king? That $10,000 he have to give at St. Colum's Inch. $10,000 for the general use. Now Duncan, no more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. This line is packed with irony. Go, pronounce his present death, and with his former title greet Macbeth. So this speech by Duncan is very, very important because this speech is packed with irony. The Thane of Cawdor shall no longer be allowed to exploit our faith, exploit our trust on him. Go and convey my order. What is the order? That Thane of Cawdor will be put to death, and his title from now on will belong to Macbeth. So now the Thane of Cawdor's place will be replaced by Macbeth. Ross, I will see it done. What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won. So this noble Macbeth, this line is again an example of irony. Ironic assimilation of the past traitor Cawdor and the future traitor Macbeth is set up through this line. Write this line. That ironic assimilation of the past traitor. Who is the past traitor? The past traitor is Thane of Cawdor, who is now ordered by Duncan to put to death. And now who is the future traitor? Future traitor will be Macbeth. So with this line of Duncan, what he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won. Duncan rewards Macbeth, rewards the faithful and punishes the traitor. Unknowingly, he replaces one traitor with a more vulnerable traitor. So one traitor is replaced by another traitor. Nothing has changed. So this is Scene 2 of Act 1. Now in our next class we will read Act 1, Scene 3. And it will be very long scene. We will skip and read only the main points. Okay, thank you.